Ashley?
This scene is one that has always gotten under my skin. I don't know why, but the look of fear, the pale skin, the hair falling out, it has always stuck with me. This scene comes from the 2017 found footage film Phoenix Forgotten, a low-budget Ridley Scott produced film that I legitimately think has been forgotten. I seriously never hear this film get brought up. Is it great? No, not even close. But if you like the Blair Witch Project and the concept of alien life, then you'll probably somewhat enjoy this. Because in a lot of ways, it's the Blair Witch Project, but with aliens. Before we discuss the film, a little background. Phoenix Forgotten is based around the real-life Phoenix Lights, one of the most disputed UFO sightings in history, where tens of thousands of people throughout Phoenix saw an odd formation of lights in the night sky on March 13, 1997.
One of the witnesses, turns out, was actually the governor of the state, Fife Symington.
As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitively say that this craft did not resemble any man-made object that I'd ever seen.
This movie's central story, though, is completely fictional. Personally, I enjoy this film, but have a gander for yourself. Meet our main character, Josh Bishop, high school student and amateur filmmaker of sorts. He's attending his little sister Sophie's birthday party, doing the guy with a camera and a found footage movie thing and putting it in everyone's faces. A disturbance, though, catches everyone's attention. Panning to the sky, we see them, the Phoenix Lights.
I don't think it's an airplane. Huh. Wow, look at that fourth one.
Everyone argues what the hell is even that before they go soaring past them, with Josh recording the entire thing. The next day, the news and media are all over these lights, with Josh's recording being a major discussion point. Unlike most found footage films where we solely focus on a single timeline and story, Josh's sister Sophie is the one playing Josh's footage and sending us between 1997 and 2017. The reason being, Josh and two of his friends, Mark and Ashley, who you'll be introduced to here shortly, would go missing shortly after the appearance of the Phoenix Lights. Hoping to find answers, Sophie is conducting her own investigative documentary in the present. I just wanted to clear that up because there are two separate found footage perspectives going on here, meaning we jump around quite a bit. Back to 1997, Josh, enamored by the origin of these lights, decides to use his camera and make his own investigative documentary, like his sister will in 20 years. He brings in friend and classmate Ashley to give him a hand. They start their adventure by visiting some astronomers who look exactly like guys who would be experts with this sort of thing.
Oh, you shot the footage. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Can you learn to focus?
I personally do not fuck with Mark.
There you go.
Ultimately, these guys write the lights off as some fighter jets. Josh, however, doesn't want to believe them, as it becomes apparent that he wants these lights to be extraterrestrial life. He goes to the library with Ashley, and the two look through some books about crop circles and alien life, and this is where the film gives us a pretty glaring error. Turning to a page that reveals Ezekiel's wheel, which Josh says reminds him of the Contact scene from, well, Contact. However, this footage takes place in March of 1997, while Contact wouldn't release for another 4 months.
Drop. Okay to go. Oh my god, I think I'm going through a wormhole.
Who knows, honestly, we kinda just have to roll with it. A little later on, the pair decide that they want to do some filming throughout the desert, but in order to get there, they realize they'll need a driver. Insert other friend, Mark. No, not that Mark.
There you go.
Mark thinks he is slick shit.
You look great.
Thank
You do something with your hair?
Can you stop flirting with my mom?
I'm not flirting with your mom.
But let's not forget, Mark is the transportation.
My 1994 Grand Jeep Cherokee.
While in the living room, news reports that more lights have been spotted in Mesa. Somehow in this dark footage, Josh proclaims,
Dude, I know where this is.
Josh might be more talented than that geoguesser dude, because how in the world would you know where this is?
Nice.
But that's not important right now. Josh and Mark leave for Mesa in Mark's 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee. They arrive, but the lights are gone. Before they leave, they notice a beam of light shining out in the distance, which leads them to a police campout. They're equipped with telescopes shooting directly at the sky, making it apparent that there's a bit of a what exactly is up in the sky attitude forming. Eventually though, they get ran off. Regrouping back at Josh's, Josh hatches his plan. He maps out the two locations of the lights and predicts the flight path, which appears to be outside Tucson in an isolated part of the desert. We then join Sophie back in 2017. Sophie has been doing some interviews with the missing kids' family members, her own family included. The impact of Josh's disappearance hit Sophie's parents particularly hard, causing them to divorce over the strain of the incident. Also in 2017, archival footage is intercut with Sophie's footage. The most interesting of these being Mark's Jeep that would later be found on the side of the road in the desert. This is where I think the film does a pretty good job in presenting the confusion surrounding Josh, Mark, and Ashley's disappearance. Various talking heads from prominent law enforcement officials in the case reveal that the Jeep was still in working condition. It was locked up, but no keys were in sight.
Oh, the car was parked perfectly in line, so it didn't seem like they were in a rush or anything. Doors were locked. We didn't find the keys.
It was functional. It ran. It wasn't like it ran out of gas or the battery died out there. They were able to start it up.
However, though, traces of blood were found. Ultimately, this meant nothing, because they found absolutely no sign of the three teens. Search parties tried and failed. Was foul play involved? Did they run into the wrong people? There's no telling, but another one of Josh's tapes that was found in the trunk of Mark's Jeep could help point us in the right direction. Back in 1997, Josh and Mark arrive at Ashley's bright and early and make their way into the desert. And assuming that Josh's flight path theory was correct, document the lights once more. There isn't a ton to write home about here other than the fact that Ashley and Mark definitely have a little chemistry. As they get near to parking, Josh says,
Hold on, this camera sucks.
Before the tape ends. Bad news for Sophie. This was the final tape. Nothing else was ever found. Surely Josh kept recording, right? If he did, where's the rest? Sophie wants to believe that Josh had a second camera, and the only link she can make is to Ashley, a member of her school's AV club who most certainly had access to filming equipment. Modern day teacher Louisa from their old high school says that there'd be no way of knowing if a camera was checked out by Ashley. On the cusp of her investigation going cold, Sophie finds something that I had talked about earlier in the video, Fife Symington and his thoughts on the Phoenix lights.
Expect that unless the Defense Department proves us otherwise, that it was probably some form of an alien spacecraft.
Up until now, the idea of Josh's disappearance being caused by alien abduction wasn't on Sophie's radar. She's been trying to figure out what happened in a grounded way. We as the viewer obviously have an idea on the subject matter, but the idea is slowly creeping into Sophie's mind.
We always assumed he got lost or kidnapped or murdered, but what if...
What if he got abducted by aliens?
Ultimately though, without any more tape and all roads leading nowhere, Sophie leaves Phoenix, her investigative documentary left unresolved.
Hi Sophie, this is Louisa Moreno. We spoke several months ago at Canyon Park High.
Good news though. Sometime later, teacher Louisa has something to show Sophie. An old package mailed to the school years earlier that had been thrown into an old storage room. Inside the box, a beat-up camcorder. Obviously, this feels like a bit of a cop-out. Nobody having to open this box in 20 years? Not one interested person? I'll let it slide because how else would this story move forward? Mark's older brother Dan helps Sophie in retrieving a tape still lodged in the camcorder. Dan was featured earlier in the film during the family member reactions, but really wasn't anything to note. Also, earlier in the film, Sophie was being recorded by a dude named Jay, also not someone to note. When Sophie comes back to Phoenix though, Dan is the one doing the recording. The tape reveals Ashley's handwriting, making it clear that she did take it from the school, likely unknowingly. The tape is still in good shape, so of course Sophie has to give it a watch. She hits play, and we'd cut to her sitting on the curb. Whatever she just watched, it fucked her up. Enough so that she wants to show it to a military captain out at a nearby complex. He watches the footage, and what does he have to say?
He said, "Don't let that footage get out."
But Sophie thinks about what Josh would do, and that's letting it out, and leading us into the final tape that will finally give us all the answers we've been wanting. Right back where we left off in 97, the trio begins their adventure into the desert. Very early on, Ashley asks,
You remember where we parked the car, right?
Yeah. It's that away.
You're not gonna believe what happens later. In the meantime, they do some exploring. They come across some petroglyphs, Josh gets some B-roll, and eventually they settle down at a mountaintop to do some underage drinking. Moments later, a salty Josh records Ashley and Mark continuing to get close. Not that it has mattered a ton, but Josh certainly has a little crush on Ashley, and is not happy about Mark being a player. This culminates in a game of truth or dare where Josh asks Mark about a girl he had been talking to, creating some tension between the group.
What's the deal with you and Debbie Gomez?
We hang out sometimes. I don't...
You guys play tennis or go golfing?
Why are you being a dick, dude?
The film attempts to do some character building, and while it's not bad, it just never really sticks. And now finally, the reason they're here. Off in the distance, shocker, a light. They argue of course on what it could be. They repeat some of the age-old found footage dialogue.
What is that? No, what is that?
and then proceed to watch the light accelerate and disappear in a burst of light. It's exactly what they wanted to record, and it must have been a UFO. Despite Josh wanting to stay out and record as much as he can, Mark and Ashley urge him to get a move on, due to the cold desert nights and Ashley's curfew, so they pack it up and trek back to the Jeep. On the way back though, they of course become lost, unsure of where the car is located, creating irritation between them all. And to make matters worse, they begin hearing weird noises all around them, with the camera beginning to pick up weird frequencies. Mark basically says he's tired of this shit and tries to get a vantage point of his car. As he does so, the sounds pick up again, only this time being accompanied by a closing in light, which most definitely is a UFO. The camera can hardly handle the action as the UFO roars like a freight train. Thankfully for our main characters though, this isn't the finale just yet. The lights vanish, Josh asks,
"What was that?"
And Mark comes back down from the mountaintop, shaken up but seemingly unharmed. He also says he spotted the car in the distance, and they all begin hauling ass to get out of the desert. Before long, they make it back to the ride and they pack it up. Out of the three, Mark was the one who had the closest contact with the alien ship, saying he saw rings above him but really doesn't want to talk about it. After a scare with the car, Mark is able to get it started, and the three of them begin their departure. Despite the scare, they're all happy to GTFO. Josh is especially happy, considering he just captured S-tier UFO footage. Though Mark makes a good point about everyone will probably think it's fake, something that holds true for just about everything ever posted to the internet. Their joy though is quickly cut short. Mark begins to fall ill. His head's warm, his stomach hurts, he's thirsty, and you know what? Fuck it, more lights. The UFO begins trailing the Jeep, getting closer and closer before flying over them, killing the car and leaving them stranded on foot. Things don't get any better for Mark, who is most definitely experiencing an illness after exposure from the UFO. His nose begins bleeding and he slowly becomes delirious. After moving the Jeep to the side of the road, which we know will later be found, the group begins walking down the road for help, only for Mark to lag behind and start hearing voices.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Come here.
Josh and Ashley are bamboozled by what is happening to their friend, and only become more confused when Mark says,
What?
Guys, it's my brother.
Do you hear anything?
How did you find us?
What the hell
Mark!
is he talking about?
As Mark continues his shouting, the mothership arrives once again for a few seconds before vanishing. Also vanishing is Mark, 100% abducted. Ashley is devastated, knowing something took him. Josh tries to tell her that he just got lost and that they need to keep moving for safety, which she agrees. And what happens next will shock you.
Holy shit.
What?
Look, it's a light.
They see another light. So many lights in this movie, goddamn. Of course they start walking over towards it, but shit starts to hit the fan for Ashley, whose nose also starts to bleed. This all leads into where this video started, with a terrified Ashley holding her falling out hair. This scene just truly gets under my skin, I'm telling you. Ashley then starts to hear things of her own, claiming it's her father calling for her.
Ashley?
It's my dad!
Oh my god.
She begins running straight towards the UFO. Josh is able to capture this UFO on video, giving us our first real look at the thing. The rings, resembling that of Ezekiel's wheel, rotate rapidly as Ashley stands below it, and in an instant, she's pulled right up into the air, never to be seen again. The tape cuts out momentarily before revealing Josh, who's safe for the time being. Remember that last light from a moment ago? Turns out that was a small little abandoned house. Josh runs inside and looks into the mirror to reveal his nose streaming blood. Not good. Even worse, the aliens are on the way. They pull up, tear the house to shreds, and in a quick shot, we see Josh drop the camera and get pulled right up into the sky. A pretty cool shot follows as the camera also gets pulled upwards, giving us a quick shot of a gray alien being. Not much can be seen or made out, just something otherworldly that is left up for interpretation. The camera falls back to Earth where it lays for the end credits, somehow still working. Nevertheless, the end. Remember when I said Blair Witch, but with aliens? That's a lot of what this film is. One friend goes missing, then the other two get fucked up in the finale, in this case by an alien spacecraft. They even end up at a rundown house. It's a lot of the same beats. It blows my mind that something with Ridley Scott's name attached to it could kind of just get thrown off to the side. Anyone trying to stream this has to pay up. There are very few options to watch this film right now. I really do think this film has been forgotten, but hopefully it gets a little love from the horror community in the future, because I think it's worth the short runtime. That's about it for me. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.